Papoose is the wealthiest man that I've been with. And that's like no faking. I haven't paid for a flight, a hotel, a fucking purse, nothing. I don't know how long. Food. He take care of everything.
At first, it sounded random, like one of those exaggerated internet claims that disappear by morning. But this one didn't disappear. It multiplied. Within hours, timelines were flooded with speculation linking Remy Ma, Papoose, and Claressa Shields to what people were calling a financial plot involving $900,000. No official paperwork surfaced. No verified documents confirmed anything. Yet the speed at which the narrative spread made it feel real enough for millions scrolling from their phones. In today's digital climate, repetition can create the illusion of evidence. When a claim appears in thousands of posts within a few hours, it begins to feel less like speculation and more like fact, even when nothing concrete supports it. Remy and Papoose had spent years building a relationship that many fans viewed as untouchable. Their story survived prison sentences, industry gossip, career pauses, and relentless public scrutiny. People didn't just admire them, they believed in them. Their love was framed as loyalty in its purest form. Ride or die through thick and thin. That narrative became part of their brand identity. So when their names were suddenly placed next to a large dollar amount and the word plot, the shock wasn't just about money. It felt like a betrayal of an image carefully constructed over time. Fans weren't reacting only to a rumor. They were reacting to the possibility that something they emotionally invested in might not be what they thought. Then Claressa Shields entered the center of the conversation. A champion boxer known for directness and unapologetic confidence, she isn't someone associated with vague statements or attention-seeking drama. Her presence added weight to the discussion precisely because she carries a reputation for confronting issues head-on. When her name became attached to alleged financial tension, people leaned in closer. Was this a business disagreement that spilled into public view? A misunderstanding magnified by social media? Or something deeper that hadn't yet surfaced? The uncertainty became addictive. Speculation thrives in ambiguity, and ambiguity was everywhere. At first, Remy remained silent. That silence was interpreted in multiple ways. Some saw it as strategic composure. Others viewed it as suspicious. On social media, silence rarely feels neutral. If you don't speak, people assume you're calculating. If you speak too quickly, they assume you're panicking. There is almost no winning formula when millions are waiting to dissect your tone, your word choice, and even your facial expressions. During those early hours, the internet did what it does best: it filled the gaps. Old interviews resurfaced. Past collaborations were reanalyzed. Body language from years-old videos was scrutinized as if hidden truths could be decoded frame by frame. The human brain loves patterns, even when they don't exist. Suddenly, every archived moment became potential evidence. The number itself, $900,000, played a psychological role. It was large enough to shock but specific enough to feel believable. Specific numbers create credibility, even when the source is unclear. Commentators began asking where the figure originated. Was it tied to an investment? A contract dispute? A business venture gone wrong? Instead of waiting for documentation, many online users filled in the blanks with imagination. That is how digital storms gain momentum, not through verified facts, but through the spaces between them. Assumptions become threads. Threads become narratives. Narratives become headlines. When Claressa eventually spoke out, her tone was calm, direct, and unapologetic. She did not appear shaken. She did not seem evasive. Supporters argued that she had nothing to gain from addressing the rumor unless she felt strongly about her position. They praised her composure and framed it as authenticity. On the other side, loyal fans of Remy and Papoose questioned why the issue was unfolding publicly. Why wasn't it handled privately if it involved business? Why was social media the battleground? Almost instantly, the internet divided itself into camps. Once people choose a side online, they defend it with surprising intensity. It stops being about curiosity and starts becoming about allegiance. What made the situation heavier wasn't simply the rumor itself. but the emotional undertone beneath it. Even if no wrongdoing was confirmed, the mere suggestion threatened reputations built over decades. Remy represents resilience, a woman who rebuilt her career after hardship. Papoose symbolizes devotion, the husband who stood firm when circumstances were anything but glamorous. Claressa represents strength and self-made success in a male-dominated sport. When narratives involving money and alleged betrayal intersect with identities like these, the impact feels bigger than gossip. Feels like character is on trial. As days passed, reactions intensified rather than fading. Reaction channels dissected every social media post. If someone unfollowed someone else, it was treated as proof of tension. If a caption mentioned trust or loyalty, it was interpreted as coded shade. Screenshots circulated faster than context. The loudest voices often shaped the perception, regardless of whether they possessed accurate information. And in the middle of it all, very few could clearly separate confirmed statements from assumption. But that didn't slow down opinions. Once an audience locks into a narrative, reversing it becomes nearly impossible. Eventually, Remy addressed the situation in her own measured way. Her response wasn't explosive. It wasn't overly defensive. It carried the tone of someone aware that every syllable would be replayed and analyzed. Yet measured responses rarely satisfy an audience craving drama. Some critics argued she should have ignored the entire conversation. Others demanded more detailed explanations. No response ever feels perfect when millions are waiting to critique it. In the age of instant commentary, nuance often gets lost between extremes. Papoose found himself under a microscope. Every expression dissected. Every silence interpreted. Supporters were quick to remind the public of his history. How he stood beside Remy during unflattering moments. How he demonstrated loyalty when it would have been easier to walk away. To them, that history wasn't nostalgia. It was character evidence. Consistency over time mattered more than sudden online speculation. But critics argued that loyalty in one chapter does not automatically answer questions in another. People evolve. Circumstances change. Pressure reshapes dynamics. For them, the present deserved independent evaluation, separate from past achievements. The debate evolved into something almost philosophical. Loyalty versus suspicion, image versus allegation, silence versus statement. The same actions were interpreted in completely different ways depending on who was watching. When Papoose stayed quiet, some saw maturity. Others saw avoidance. The truth, whatever it may be, felt secondary to framing. And once perception becomes the battlefield, objective clarity often gets buried beneath emotion. To its core, this episode highlighted how fragile reputation can be in the digital era. Years of goodwill can feel vulnerable when tested by viral speculation. Brand partnerships, endorsements, and fan loyalty can all be affected by rumors long before verification occurs. Even when allegations dissolve, the emotional residue often lingers. Audiences may forget the specifics, but they remember how the story made them feel. And this story left many feeling unsettled. The deeper lesson lies in how quickly social media transforms speculation into spectacle. One person posts a theory. Another repeats it with confidence. A third adds emotion. By the time it reaches thousands of screens, it feels undeniable. But feelings are not documentation. Reactions are contagious, and outrage spreads faster than caution. Without clear documentation, every theory seemed plausible. That plausibility kept the conversation alive longer than usual. Unresolved narratives are addictive. The human mind dislikes open loops, so it keeps searching for closure, even when closure never arrives. As the noise gradually softened, something subtle remained. A shift in perception. Not proof, not confirmation, just a faint crack in certainty. And often, that crack becomes the most lasting impact of any public controversy.